Hi, Scorpio. Welcome to your 2020 forecast. Happy New Year. We're going to pick one card for each month of 2020 from this deck here and see what's coming up for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And then we're going to pick an angel card from this deck here and see which angel is with Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising in the year 2020. So without further ado, my darlings, let's go ahead and connect with Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the 2020 calendar year. Please show us January 2020 for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And your first card here, my darlings, is Ace of Wands. So you guys are coming right out the gate. Or I should say we are. I'm a Scorpio too. This was working earlier. Now I'm having a hard time with it. I think it's late. I think I'm delirious. But you're coming right out at the gate with Ace of Wands. So Ace of Wands is action. It's opportunity. It's taking hold of opportunity. It's seizing an opportunity. Lots of fire energy. I mean, we are a water sign, but lots of fire energy as we're starting off with the 2020 calendar year. There is a very important message that comes in with Ace of Wands, which is you're going to get out of a situation, whatever it is you're putting into it. So sometimes Ace of Wands is an opportunity that comes along that we might be tempted to kind of turn our nose up at it. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And this is saying, wait a minute, if you put a little bit of elbow grease into this, if you put a little bit of love into this, then it might be more than worth your while. Scorpio, I do feel that a lot of Scorpios, in the past couple of years, but maybe more so in 2019 than the previous years, have really been on a self-improvement journey where it's been more about their spiritual development. It's been more about, oh my goodness, I haven't had my mic. Or yes, I did. Okay. Just making sure you guys can hear me. More about spiritual development, more about getting finances in order. A lot of Scorpios came out of a horrendous period of time, and I feel you. I want to say maybe until about 2017, 20, or maybe up until 2018 even, like maybe like a 10 or 12 year period where it was just horrendous. And in the last couple of years it began to ease up, and it was just a lot easier to begin to build, right? So 2019, maybe there was a lot of building that was happening, and so love was just way beyond the back burner, love was out in the yard somewhere, not even on the back burner, maybe not even on the property. And so Ace of Wands, I think, where some of you could be indicating some kind of new love coming in, but more kind of like the pilot light soulmate situation. I'm not going to get too much into detail here, but the wands can sometimes be symbolic of phallic energy in the tarot. It is one of the symbolisms. So there could be something happening there where some of you are kind of getting your groove back. Somebody coming in that way. Pilot light soulmate is not a tarot term. It's a term. I don't know how else to word it. It's just what I call it. And back in the day, the old stoves had little pilot light burners, and it was the little fire that burned underneath. And if it went out, you couldn't, your stove wouldn't work. So the gas company would have to come and relight it with a special lighter. So relight the pilot light. So somebody might be coming in and relighting that pilot light that maybe it's just kind of gone out because you've been so busy getting life together, getting your stuff together. So it could be something in that way. It could also be creative projects, things like this. But again, it's just kind of you're going to get back from it, whatever you put into it. The castle's kind of jumping out at me here in the picture. You guys know I read intuitively. Castle's kind of jumping out at me. So it could be fantasy. It could be fairy tale. This even gave me the idea of a hand grabbing a pen and writing. So maybe some of you, your imagination is really vivid as you're starting off in January, and you might be starting and writing down some kind of a story, like a fairy tale or children's stories or things like that as well. Wow. I just got chills. I feel somebody is writing like their version of like Alice in Wonderland or something, like a very symbolic story, but like something that maybe you feel like spiritually might be helping kids that went through something similar to what you went through in your upbringing. I'm getting a feeling or a sense of children's stories. I really, really am. That's very specific. It's not going to be for every single one of you, obviously, but for some Scorpios out there, you might be feeling drawn to do something like this. These other 2 diamonds here are going to be for clarifier cards. I'm going to pull clarifier cards to go deeper into each card, but I'm going to save that for the extended. We're going to try to move along and be a little bit more quick here in this video. So let's go ahead and see what's happening in February. Please show us February 2020 for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And we have, ooh, 8 of Swords. Now, guys, 8 of Swords is going to be a very important card here. All right, 8 of Swords could indicate that maybe some of you are beginning to feel a little bit overwhelmed or a little bit stuck or a little bit trapped. I feel like whatever this opportunity is that you're starting off in January, as you get into February, I'm feeling this card in 2 different ways. There's going to be 2 different camps, okay? For some of you, it's like you're feeling, wow, this project is very big and it's something I can't do by myself. And you start feeling discouraged and you start feeling like, well, I have to wait for a partner to come in, or I have to wait for somebody to come in and help me with it. And you're just kind of thinking your hands are tied until the right person comes in to make this happen, because you think you can't allow that to happen on your own. This is a limited thinking. It's not true. I mean, if she were to, she's not even really tied up that tight. She could still move her arm. She could wriggle out of there. She could pull her blindfold over her eyes and she could see that she's not even stuck. Those swords aren't even all the way around her. So this feeling of stuck is really an illusion. You're putting yourself in this limited thinking. And I will say this, when we're in that fear energy where we're waiting for someone to come in and rescue us, I always give the example of a little baby seal injured and bleeding out in the ocean. The sharks are going to be the first one to pick up on that, not the other seals. So when we're in that fear energy, we're going to attract predators. So even if you do attract a partner or a helper in that energy, it's going to be someone who's going to take advantage. It's going to be somebody you're going to be better off without their help, okay? So maybe do some affirmations, some confidence building, prayer, meditation, so that you're not in that energy of, oh, I can't do this by myself. For other ones of you, you may be confident moving along in this project, and your confidence, your belief in yourself, your positive attitude may be attracting someone who's seeing that as a challenge. Like they're like, oh, I want to just pluck that little whatever. I don't know what to call you, Scorpio. Pluck that little morsel up, and keep it for mine. So there could be someone that's really kind of flattering you or pursuing you, but really they just kind of have this plan or idea that they're just gonna, scoop you up and put you in their pocket. Like, I just heard, there's that song "Girls Just Want to Have Fun" by Cyndi Lauper, and it doesn't have to be a boy-girl situation, but it's like some boys want to take a beautiful girl and hide her away from the rest of the world. Like, there could just be someone who just wants you for theirs. Like, they want you to be their own little personal, magic beam. And it could apply to you if you're a guy, regardless of if you date men or women. It could apply to you if you're a guy. Somebody might just be wanting to pluck you up and, hide you away. One more thing I will say, and I'm not going to get too into detail because I don't know what the YouTube rules, what I can say and what I can't say, but I will word this as PG as possible. This card can also sometimes indicate in physical intimacy situations, like the whole kind of tied up thing, like being tied up or tying somebody up, that could be coming up for some of you. Maybe you're meeting someone and that Ace of Wands, that fiery passion energy or that fling energy that might be coming in. Maybe this is someone that is making you feel safe or comfortable enough to explore those kinds of things. Or maybe your partner, an existing partner, is wanting to explore those kinds of things, or you're wanting to explore those kinds of things. So there could be something like that. And I always say this, if you don't feel comfortable doing it, like if it's not something that you feel safe, that you can trust that person to do it, or if it's just something that doesn't appeal to you, don't do it if it makes you feel unsafe or uncomfortable or whatever. Like, don't do anything you don't feel comfortable doing. For some of you, this might be something that comes up though, right? And it could be a part of this whole thing of you like kind of coming into your power, right? It might be something that you're playing out in that way. It might be something that you're role playing or working through in the physical intimacy department. Maybe it's coming out in that way or being expressed in that energy. Again, it's a general reading, so the energy will come in different ways for different ones of you. We'll pull clarifiers in the extended and see what's coming up. Let's go ahead and see what's happening in the month of March 2020 for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What is happening in March 2020 for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising? This is our stalker card. This card has come up for a lot of the signs. I want to say for every single one so far, if I'm not mistaken. Actually, it has come up for every single one, because if it didn't come up in the one on YouTube, it came up in the extended. This is like a common energy in 2020 that a lot of people are going to be experiencing. But Scorpio, for us, it's coming up a little bit earlier here. So Six of Swords could indicate there's a situation here where with the Six of Swords, there could be travel. There could be like wanting to get away. There could be wanting to clear your head and get away from drama. If you are a Scorpio where you've been trying really, really hard to move, you've been having a hard time moving, maybe you've been living with family that's been difficult to get away from because they need you, or because you had financial issues, or, you know, maybe the financial issues are like you're supporting them and you're like, I don't know what's going to happen to them if I leave. But I feel something is happening for a lot of you where you're going to be able to break out of that situation. You know, maybe you're going to have siblings that step in, or maybe there's going to be something that's going to work itself out. But something might be happening where I feel for some of you, this Six of Swords is you're finally getting to move out. There could even be a period prior to that where you are traveling for work. So maybe you are landing a job that's requiring you to travel. If you are self-employed, or if you're doing something creative or entertainment-wise, maybe you're getting bookings, maybe you're traveling for appearances, or maybe you're going off and you're promoting something. Some of you may be out there promoting your writing, you know, but there could be something that's happening where you're not around as much because you're kind of traveling abroad or working abroad. And then there could be something happening where not too long after, you're actually, when you come back, you're not returning to wherever you were living. It's like you're coming back and you're getting a fresh start somewhere new. The meaning with Six of Swords is though that like you're just getting away from drama, you're getting away from nagging. And the feeling I'm getting from this card for you guys, Scorpio, is it also came up for Libra. And with Libra, I just got somebody nagging, like just really kind of nagging and just like just arguing about money and give me this and give me that. For you guys, there's some element of that, but I'm feeling more like just depleting, like you know, like Cinderella, like get me this, get me that, I need this, I need that, and you're just like, you're disconnecting from it, like I can't help you anymore, like Cinderella is gone. You know, so very, very much, you know, getting away from that energy, getting peace of mind, getting away from the drama. I do feel also, Scorpio, that there's something with a person, and it could be a family member that has been dishonest with you about a financial situation. or making you feel responsible about a financial situation, and some truth is being revealed where you're going to feel like, okay, you know what? I'm giving myself permission to walk away from the situation. Like, this person was not honest with me. This person took advantage of a situation. And I'm not going to feel bad. I'm not going to feel bad for stepping away and saying, sorry, I can't help you anymore. Like, I've done more than enough at this point. So there could be something being revealed in that way. I feel like you're distancing yourself from somebody financially, and you're not going to feel guilty for it. You're not going to feel bad about it. Let's go ahead and check out your April. Let me just make sure I have it right here. Yeah, April is going to, no, January, February, yeah, March, April. What is happening in April 2020 for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please? April 2020. Oh my goodness. This is a card. Let me tell you something about this card. There was a time, it wasn't from this deck, it was from a different deck. It kept popping up in my room. It was the craziest thing, I swear to you guys. I put my tarot cards away. I don't leave them lying around. I would be getting ready and like the strength card would be on my bookshelf. It would be next to my bed. It would be in my shoes, like in my tennis shoes. Like it just kept popping up. And it was a card that at the time confused me. But what I saw in my own life and what I saw in readings that I've done since then, like this card was really trying to get my attention. So what it wants you to know, Scorpio, you are about to go into a completely uncharted territory. Okay? You, or Scorpios overall, you know, Scorpios as a group have gone through a tremendous amount of like just trial by fire, you know, death and rebirth, Phoenix rising from the ashes. And so a lot of you Scorpios have broken out of generational curses, so to speak, or like mental blocks and, you know, not limiting yourself and you know, courage and confidence and all these things. And whatever you've accomplished, it's nothing. It's nothing compared to where you're about to go. But it's going to make you feel very vulnerable because you're doing it by yourself, right? Remember with that Eight of Swords, some of you were like, oh, you know, I really wish I could get this moving, but I need somebody to help me with it. I need some, you know, no, the Strength card is saying you're meant to do this on your own. This is a major arcana card. This is life purpose. This is life lesson. This is growth. So your life lesson is that you are meant to succeed at this with your own skills, your own abilities, your own talents. This doesn't mean that you're meant to be alone in life. It just means that you might not be meant for like a business partner, so to speak. You know, maybe you might have somebody who is coming in and helping promote you or helping you manage certain aspects, you know, but it would be more like they don't have ownership of what you're doing. Strength card, it just basically also is telling you that you have to stay committed to this. You can't give up on it, right? There's a sense of dedication. There's a sense of commitment. There's a sense of loyalty. And look, she went off into that wilderness. She went off into the wild and she came out like ruling it. She has the king of the jungle at her feet here. So you're going to be successful. You're going to come out on top. You may even end up with some very unlikely allies along the way, or protectors, loyal friendships, you know, loyal colleagues, maybe, you know, along the path as well. And I always think with the Strength card, you know, she didn't go in and yell at that lion and beat it up and kick it around. It would have ripped her to shreds. So I always think about how she may have won over that lion. Maybe she kept her distance. She was cautious. She read the signs. She was careful. She stayed away. Maybe she left out food and water for it occasionally. Maybe she took care of it when it was sick. And little by little, had that bond, formed that bond, you know, was able to tame it, and through that gentleness, through that kindness, had that strength. So You may be taming something within yourself or just learning better how to work with difficult people as you go out negotiating or making deals or planning deals. Strength card, the overall thing is that you're just about to go into uncharted territory, and it's going to be unfamiliar to you, and that's why it's going to feel uncomfortable, because you don't really know what to expect, and it may leave you feeling vulnerable. For some of you, this could be with a love situation. Maybe that fiery fling that's starting out in the beginning of the year for some of you is starting to become serious, and your vulnerability might be coming to the surface, right? And you might be feeling worried about, oh, I don't want to get hurt, or I don't want this person to play me, but you're going to catch far more flies with honey than you are with vinegar in this situation. Strength card is saying you don't have to go in there, being like just all in your face and you better listen up. That's not going to get you anywhere. But, just through that kindness, through that gentleness, that kind, quiet strength is going to earn you that trust or that bond that maybe you're hoping for in that situation. We'll pull clarifiers in the extended and see what's coming up. I mean, this is a card that's very rich with many meanings, and so what you have to do is see what other cards are coming up around it. You have to read the energy of the person that you're reading for, but this is a general reading, right? Like, I can't focus on just one person. But in the extended, we'll go a little bit deeper with clarifiers there. So your next card here, and I believe we are in May, January, February, March, yeah. May 2020. Or, yeah. May 2020, please, for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Hey, hey, hey. High Priestess. Okay, this could be indicative of Pisces. Some of you may be dealing with a Pisces. The card we just had could have been a Leo. You might be dealing with a Leo, or somebody has Leo in their moon or in their rising, or it could be within yourself. I do want to say something. When we have the major arcana cards come up, it is significant. Life purpose, life lesson, growth. When we have them come back to back, especially like in a year reading like this, it tells us it's going to be a really big year. And there's been a lot of major arcana cards coming up for a lot of the different signs. So collectively, there's lots of big energies coming in 2020, where there's going to be a lot of changes and shifts for many people. High Priestess is going to be intuition, connecting with your intuition, your confidence, your higher self, just kind of feeling intuitively what's going to be the best steps to take moving forward. And in my experience, this isn't necessarily like a Tarot 101 thing. It's just something I've seen over the years reading for people. High Priestess seems to come up a lot for somebody when their chakras are opening up and clearing. They're becoming very aligned. They're becoming very connected to the higher self. And that is making them incredibly magnetic. So even if you're not changing anything about yourself in terms of how you dress or carry yourself or makeup or appearance or whatever, don't be surprised, especially as you come into the month of May. Don't be surprised if you find that you are being very heavily pursued. And a lot of the times it's by more than one person. And so I will say this: do not confuse persistence with commitment. Do not confuse persistence with readiness, because sometimes this is an energy, it's like a dog chasing a car, right? Like Joker said in Batman, I'm like a dog chasing a car. I wouldn't know what to do with it if I caught it, right? So sometimes when you're in High Priestess energy, like somebody or some people may be pursuing you super persistently, but they're not going to know what to do with you once they catch you. It's like, if a sailor fell in love with a mermaid, like out in the middle of the ocean, even if he catches up to her, what's he going to do? Is he going to throw down the anchor and spend the rest of his life out at sea to be near her? Is he going to scoop her up and take her back to land and throw her in a giant fish tank and hope she's going to be happy there? How do you go have, Thanksgiving dinner with the mermaid and her family? How do you take her to go have Thanksgiving dinner with yours or whatever? So it could just be that even if there's this pull and there's this desire, they might not be at your level. They might not be in your world or on the same realm as you, but they're very taken by you. Okay, you will also sometimes in High Priestess energy attract people who are hurting, who are very broken, who need a lot of healing. And, you know, you need to be very cautious who you're going to bed with here, Scorpio. Super cautious who you're going to bed with here, because people like this, nothing, like, we're not judging them, we're not putting them down, we all go through a hard time. But if you're in High Priestess energy and you have somebody who's really aching, coming at you with like this brokenness within them, they're gonna latch onto your energy, they're gonna feed off of you like parasites. And if you have that physical connection, it's gonna allow them to really feed off of your energy, even without talking to you, even without seeing you. There's something very powerful that happens energetically when you are physically intimate with someone. And this is why in many spiritual beliefs, they say that you shouldn't, you know, just kind of go willy-nilly, just like with anybody. I'm not saying it like in a way to preach morals to you. I'm just saying in a way to guard your energy. So if you do decide, and if you say, hey, you know what, I want to be free, I want to have fun, and I just want to be with these different people if they're coming my way, that's all fine and dandy, but make sure that you're doing your spiritual hygiene. You know, make sure that you are saging, smudging, clearing yourself, sea salt baths, you know, meditating, calling your energy back to you, so you don't have a bunch of people that are walking off with chunks of you. Otherwise, you're going to be very depleted. You're going to be very tired. And it might not even be a bunch of people. It could just be one person who just energetically is just like they're just so hungry. They're just so thirsty. Like, you fill them up. So you want to guard your energy in that way. Just something to think about. And not all of you will experience it in that way. Some of you, this is more spiritual, you connecting with your confidence. We will put clarifiers in the extent, and we will go into it a little bit deeper. But let's go ahead and check out your June. See what's happening in June 2020 for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Yep. Yeah, you guys have someone who's got the hots for you, Scorpio. Somebody wants you bad. It could be a fire sign here. Could be. Not necessarily, but it could be. King of Wands is going to be somebody very passionate. This could also be telling you the kind of character of the person who's coming in. I am going to use the word he because he's shown as he. He's shown as a masculine energy here in this card, but we all have masculine and feminine traits. So even if you are not someone who dates men, it could still apply that this is the characteristics of the person who's coming in, even though I'm using he or masculine pronouns. You know, it's not limited to that. Or if you consider yourself masculine or identify as masculine, this could be you coming into those traits. But I feel, Scorpio, that for many of you, there's someone, this person who's coming in, where you might have this pull or being very persistent or chasing after you, is coming in with King of Wands energy. I love King of Wands. King of Wands is like my tarot crush. King of Wands is self-made man, self-made energy. This is somebody who has had to work very hard for what they have. Often it could be someone who has become very skilled at what they do, very confident, very funny, life of the party kind of person, very independent, very passionate. A lot of the times it can indicate very passionate, fiery, you know, physical chemistry. And it could indicate like a lover, like a companion, a lover, a confidant. It does not always transition into marriage when I see King of Wands coming up. For some of you, you have to be cautious because this person may be coming in as a temptation. It could also indicate, you know, a temptation, right? Like Sancho or Sancha kind of energy. So be wary if you're in a committed relationship. If you have somebody coming at you very persistently, or you think that you're going to do business with them, but you think like it's not going to go further or past that, you are sadly mistaken if that's the case, because this feels like someone who just really seems to just have it in their mind that they're going to convince you. They're going to win you over. They're going to, make you want them to. I feel there's somebody who just really has their sights set on you and wants you super duper bad. And so you're going to have to be clear, I guess, about what you want to do about that. Although I will say, Scorpio, especially for those of you that you are very, very focused on yourself, this could be someone that will wear you down. I'm getting that feeling. Like he's just, even like, there's even like little, like, mischievousness on that face there. Like they're gonna get in. Like they just know it's a matter of time. They're just looking at you like, oh, it's just a matter of time. Like they just feel like, they just feel like they got it like that. And they probably do. This could also though indicate like business, entrepreneurship energy as well. These are general readings. They're going to apply in different ways. We will pull the clarifiers in the extent and we'll see what comes up. Or you may need a personal reading, but I don't know. I'm feeling some mischievous passion with that one there. Let's go ahead and check out your next card here. So we need to see what's happening in July. Please show us July 2020 for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Oh my goodness. You know what? I think Libra got this for July too. They got Hierophant. And who else was it that got Hierophant? But I think they got Hierophant in May. Gosh, I can't remember. If you saw it in your moon or rising, you'll have to comment and let me know if like you watched your moon or rising and if it came up for you in which month. But a few cards got this one. A few signs got this card too. Something's happening with the energy in July, because this is the second time I recall seeing it exactly in July. But it may have come up in some of the extendeds. I'm connecting it with like summertime mostly. Something's happening in the summertime with the energies because there's going to be some commitment energy going around. Somebody's wanting to commit to you, Scorpio. It could be that King of Wands that you're not taking seriously in June, maybe in July, changing their tune. There could be talk of more seriousness or commitment. The Hierophant can also indicate proposal, like wedding proposal, traditional marriage, truth being revealed, contracts. Either way, it's like, just like energy where you tighten up. You tighten up, you buckle down, you get settled in. It's settled energy, like getting settled, getting grounded, having a foundation. So it's going to be in different areas of your life. For some of you, different areas of your life are coming together at once. You might feel like business or work is really beginning to become secure, and then this relationship is beginning to become secure. So if you're a Scorpio where you've just kind of been really a free spirit, or you've been just kind of drifting through life, there may be stability beginning to happen for you in July, whether you like it or not. Maybe you've just like had some really big plans where you were getting ready to travel, or take some show on the road, so to speak. But gosh, guys, the universe may have different plans for you come this summer. You may be putting some of those plans on hold as things are becoming more secure. Some of you are landing a contract that's going to make it difficult for you to just be that free spirit going here, going there. And for some of you, this contract or commitment to me feels like it's something you're going to be working on for a while. And for whatever reason, I get this feeling of like exercise, like physical exercise is coming with this. So I don't know if you're a Scorpio where you're doing something in terms of entertainment. Maybe you're like landing a contract and they're like wanting you to be in really good shape. Like maybe you're going to be in front of the camera, and they're like, oh, well, we're going to set you that. But I feel like there's some kind of contract where you're working on promoting something or launching something. And the exercise maybe is more so for you, like just keeping yourself grounded and decompressing and, you know, a self-care kind of thing as you're working. But I feel some of you may be receiving some kind of payment up front in July for this project or for this contract, but you're going to be required to work in preparation of it, right? So I don't know if you're preparing for a role. I don't know if you're getting some kind of a book deal and you are going to be writing or, you know, working on something or before it gets released, before people know about it, but you might be getting some kind of like upfront pay or an advance, and then just working. So I just kind of feel like some of you had some plans and it's changing. It's changing because of some contract that's coming in. Maybe for some of you, it's a marriage proposal. You know, maybe it's all of the above coming in at once. You guys are going to feel the energies in different ways. You would have to have a private reading to know exactly how the energy is coming in for you. But we will pull clarifiers in the extended. So let's go ahead and check out August and see what's happening in August 2020 for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Please show us August 2020 for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And we have Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords is a card that comes up when there could be communication, there could be news, but also ideas. And for me, a lot of the times when I see this card come up, it's telling me that something is happening here where mental blocks are being broken through. Like you're learning to look at situations from a different light, from a different angle, from a different way, and you're breaking out of limited thinking. So there could be a lot of crown chakra healing and clearing that's happening at this time. And sometimes when the crown chakra clears, if you've ever meditated, you may have felt this. And, you know, it is a common thing that comes up for people. And it's one of the reasons why people will make progress in their meditation and then stop. Like they'll hit this point and they'll freak out and they'll be like, oh, heck no, I'm not going to meditate. You may feel like there's a buzzing or a tingling above your head, like a static electricity. Some people will feel pressure. Some people might get migraines. If you feel this is happening for you in August and if it's persistent, make sure you go to a doctor just to get it looked at, just to make sure there isn't something else going on. I know a lot of readers and energy healers and spiritual people will be like really anti-doctor and they'll say don't go to the doctor and don't take medication, but I don't believe in that. I believe doctors are here for a reason. I believe medication exists for a reason. I'm all for doctors. I'm all for medication. Yes, holistic stuff is wonderful and it's a wonderful thing to, you know, treat things holistically when you can. But if you feel there's like something happening with your head in August, it could definitely be crown chakra opening up and your thought process clearing. But if it is a persistent thing, if it feels uncomfortable, just go get it checked out just in case if you're experiencing those physical symptoms. But don't be surprised if your meditations are becoming more intense, okay? Don't be surprised if your meditations are becoming more intense. For a lot of you, I do feel like you are beginning to receive a lot more information through meditation. And believe me, I can relate. When you start hitting those high realms in meditation, it can feel scary. So if you get to that point, you can call on Archangel Michael to protect you, to walk through you or walk through it with you, you know, to fill your heart with love and light, or you can ask God to fill your heart with love and light. And if it does get scary or overwhelming, it's okay to step away. But I feel, Scorpio, a lot of you are connecting and receiving information in a very powerful way, because a lot of your limits are beginning to just really kind of dissolve, and you are thinking outside of the box in a way that's going to be very beneficial for you, right? But it can also be a little overwhelming. Let's go ahead and check out your, I believe we're in September. Let me double check here. We sure are. Let's see, September 2020. For Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please. 5 of Cups. Yup. Makes sense. Now, I talked about things feeling overwhelming. So it makes sense for me to have 5 of Cups come up after a period of feeling overwhelmed. You were already feeling overwhelmed when that Strength card came up. Then you have the pressure of the Hierophant coming in, which can be triggering like commitment fears in some of you, or like stability fears in some of you. And then you have the whole thing with the crown chakra and, you know, all this information coming in. So you might be feeling a little bit overwhelmed. And 5 of Cups is a card where you might be disappointed in the way things are going. Like they might be going different to your plan, especially if you had these big dreams about traveling, or you had these big dreams about like something, you're going to take something on the road, and now you're just kind of having to stay where you are. You might be a little bit discouraged about that, or you might be a little bit unhappy about that. There has been some energy coming up in some of the other readings, and I wouldn't be surprised if it comes up for you in the next few cards, but we'll see, where there may have been like unexpected like pregnancies or things like this. So maybe you were just at this point where you felt, oh, you know, like I'm past that age, that's not going to happen for me, or like that's, you know, that happens to teenagers, or that happens to newlywed people, or like whatever. Like you might be really about to do something very big in terms of your personal goals or your careers, and maybe there is an unexpected pregnancy or something that's coming up, and you might be feeling a little bit bummed out, like this wasn't the time for this to happen, like this wasn't this time for this to happen. Or just as you are, you know, being very challenged and coming out of your comfort zone and really beginning to advance here, it could feel very overwhelming. We had that overwhelming energy. And 5 of Cups can sometimes be self-medicating energy. You know, some of you might be dealing with someone who's turning out to have a bit of a drinking problem, and it might be beginning to influence your life. Or it could be that you are self-medicating in some way, like you feel overwhelmed and you're really tempted to start shutting yourself down. And people self-medicate in different ways. It's not always drugs and alcohol. People can self-medicate through sex, through food, through video games, you know, being a workaholic. It could be through so many different ways, like a billion trillion different ways. So a lot of the times when 5 of Cups is coming up, it's saying do not allow that fear or that overwhelming energy to cause you to close yourself up again. I feel some of you might be tempted to shoot yourself in the foot and retreat, and just everything you've worked for, now it's, you know, going full force. You might be very tempted to say, oh, this is really scary, this is really hard, and pull away. So don't sabotage yourself. And don't be so focused on how things didn't work out in the past that you push away some new opportunity that's coming in. I think, Scorpio, some of you have gained so much in 2019, and I feel like you're going to gain so much in 2020 in such a short period of time that you're just like so afraid to accept it, because you're like, what if it doesn't last? Because things didn't last before. And this is saying don't live in that fear. Don't shut yourself down, right? There will be things along the way. You'll pick up those cups, you'll brush them off, and you'll fill them up again. So don't live in fear. That's the message I'm feeling with this card here. Let's go ahead and check out your October, coming into Scorpio season. The early Scorpios are in October, end of October. What is happening for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising in October 2020, please? And we have Page of Pentacles. This is also another one that's been popping up. Page of Pentacles can indicate children. If you are dating someone or in a relationship with someone who has children. Their children may be coming into play in the relationship. There could be financial things that are coming up that you all are having to discuss, involving this child or this, and it would probably be like, maybe an adult or teenage child. But more than likely, for the majority of you, the way this card is coming in, it's going to be about looking at your relationship with money and finances, and where you're going to be investing your time and energy, and how you're going to do more with what you have. When I say look at your relationship with money, what are your beliefs around money? Why do you think you haven't had more of it? What do you think you should be doing with it? What is a good thing to do with your money? It's not enough these days to just, say, oh, I'm going to save it and I'm going to have it in my bank account. It's not like, you might be having to learn about how to take some of your savings and put them into investments, things that are going to grow over time with a higher level of interest, that, you're going to be able to, do something in terms of like retirement or college funds or whatever it might be, so that it's there when you need it. I feel that for some of you, Scorpio, this big territory that you're going in is you're going to figure out how to create a passive income. Passive income is the kind of income that comes in without you having to work, right? Even if you're self-employed, chances are you don't have a passive income, because you'd have to go and do something every single day, right? You'd have to, go style hair or bake or do readings or go fix cars or, take pictures at weddings or whatever it is that you do. Even if you're self-employed, it's not a passive income because you're working to earn that income. Passive income could be some company that you start, and there could be employees that are working for you and you're just collecting profits and signing off checks. It could be something that you invented that's bringing in money. It could be, I would even say, royalties off of something that you were in, from back before. So I think some of you are figuring out how to generate that, how to create that. That's the feeling that I'm getting with this card with Page of Pentacles. Just, figuring out how to be smarter with what you have coming in and how to do more with what you're coming in. Scorpio, I feel a lot of you are going to, or at least those of you who are not of retirement age, I feel like you're going to really set yourself up for early retirement, that things are going to be happening in 2020 where you can retire early. And those of you where you've been concerned about retirement, maybe you're closer to retirement age, or you feel like you should have been able to retire by now, you may be looking at your money and getting smarter with it, to figure out, how to be able to do that and how to catch up. So it might not be a bad idea to get a consultation with a financial planner. I am not a financial planner. I will never, ever give anybody financial advice. But it might not be a bad idea to look into someone who can point you in the right direction and teach you a little bit more in detail about how money works. All right, my darlings, let's go ahead and check out November, continuing our Scorpio season. What is happening in November 2020 for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising? And we have the Fool, Major Arcana, so you are definitely going for something. It's so funny because this card came up for some of the other signs, and it's cracking me up. Maybe it's just really late and I'm delirious and I need to be sleeping right now. But for some reason, like as he's leaping and like the dog is like running behind him, I feel like there's like all these people like going, "No, what are you doing? No, don't!" Like, you idiot. So I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm experiencing that card in this way right now. But I feel whatever is happening in November, Scorpio, like you're going for it. You are just, and I'm hearing head over heels. I don't know, maybe it's a relationship that's, people are thinking is moving way too fast. Or you're just going in this direction with your career and these opportunities. And people are just like, what in the heck are you doing right now? And you might have people who are just like, for the love of God, don't do this. But that's the thing about the Fool card. It's like, when it comes up, we feel so moved to do this thing. And it might not make sense to the people in our life, but we feel called to do it. The message here, my darlings, is just make sure you have your umbrella. Make sure that you have some kind of safety net in place, or some kind of a backup plan, or some kind of a transition plan. Maybe you have a business that's picking up and you're getting ready to quit your full-time job and work for yourself. And people are like, what in the heck are you doing right now, buddy? Have a backup plan in case the business doesn't grow as quickly, or in case there is slow periods. And you just might have people who are not being supportive of you. When I transitioned from, working in law offices and doing legal work to going into my spiritual awakening and wanting to do this stuff, people thought I had lost my mind, right? And even then, I'm like, oh, well, let me pull back here, and I'll teach. I'll go back to teaching preschool. I love kids. I love babies. That'll be fun. It won't be as stressful, and I can continue building my business on the side. And then it got to a point where I had to let that go. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just go ahead and I'll do DoorDash, and I'll try out YouTube. I'll do DoorDash. I'll see if YouTube picks up. I'll see if I can get monetized. I'll see if people want private readings. And I took a big leap of faith, and people are like, what in the heck are you doing? Like, what in the heck are you doing? But that was the safety plan. And I only did DoorDash for like a couple of months. And then I was like, okay, no, I'm good. I can do what I enjoy doing now. And so we can argue that I'm lucky. I am lucky. I'm thankful for it. But it's also when you go towards what you feel you enjoy doing, like, you're going to be successful. You're going to draw the right situations. You're going to draw the right people to you. And so that's the thing. A lot of people are like, what in the heck are you doing? What in the heck are you doing, girl? So you might have that happening with you. Your friends and family might be like, you are insane right now. And it may look that way, right? But you need to still make sure you have a plan. You need to be on top of it. Okay, well, what am I going to do if I leave this job and I focus on my business? How am I going to bring in income if business is slow? Or you need to know what your next thing is going to be. You need to have that umbrella in place. If it's a relationship that you're going into, make sure that you if need be, have legal documents in place, have a prenup in place if need be, or make sure that you have a separate account. Make sure that you have a way out if you need it. Don't just get up and go move to some foreign country where you don't know anybody and you're not going to have a job and you're completely and totally at the mercy of someone that you might not even know that well. Don't do something like that, but do it in a way where you have, like I said, you have that safety net. I just feel like a lot of people in your life might not be super jazzed about what you're deciding to do in November, whatever it may be. I don't know why. I just got that thing where they're like, no, what are you doing? Stop it. All right, let's see December. It'll be interesting to pull clarifiers for that in the extended. What's happening in December 2020 for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising? Ah, ha, ha, ha. 5 of Wands. I told you people were not on board with whatever you were doing. 5 of Wands could be competition, okay? So if you are doing something in self-employment, it could definitely, when I see this come up in self-employment kind of things, it could be that you are gaining clout where people are noticing you, they are wanting to compete with you, they are challenging you in some way. And that can be very scary, right? But at the same time, it's a good thing. It means that you're on the scene. It means that you're in the running. But more often than not, for the majority of you, the feeling that I'm feeling with this 5 of Wands is that people are not on board with whatever us Scorpios are going to be doing at the end of the year. right? It'll be different for different ones of us. It could be a relationship that we're in. It could be in a work situation, a career situation, or the spiritual beliefs that we're beginning to, take on. But you're going to have people who are just not on board with what you're doing. To these people, you're not going to be able to convince them. You're not going to be able to convert them to your way of thinking. So there might be people that you just full on decide to walk away from and just say, look, we'll agree to disagree. Have a nice life. I do feel for some of you, this is family. Maybe they don't understand that you're grown. Maybe they don't understand that you've made up your mind about what you want to do. I almost feel like they're going and trying to pull you back. Like, making some kind of a scene. I mean, God forbid, you're getting married and they're, trying to stop the wedding or something. Or they're like, oh, it's time for you to come home. Don't live with this person or something like this. I don't think you're going to listen to them. But it does feel to me where it's just coming to a point where you're like, look, just get out of my life or accept it. But you're not going to have your way. So I do feel a little bit of a standoff kind of energy. Some of you might be doing really well in your career and moving up, and therefore people are maybe envying you, or they're wanting to compete with you, or they're trying to get inside your head and shake your confidence a little bit. But I feel like you're holding your own, you're standing your ground. We'll pull clarifiers in the extent and we'll see what's going on. But that's, that is definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. I do feel or sense, though, Scorpio, some people in your life might be feeling like you are becoming too confident, too self-assured, too successful for your own good. They might think that you're getting a big head in some way and they're wanting to stop you. They just feel like you need to be stopped. But I don't think they're going to stop you. Can you stop a Scorpio? Philosophical question indeed. I don't know. Scorpio is the Phoenix rising of the zodiac. Let's go ahead and see what angel card is coming up for you for the year. And like I said, we will pull clarifiers. We'll get deeper in the extended. But let's see what's happening with Sagittarius. What the heck? Sagittarius is the next reading I'm going to do. We're going to see what's happening with Scorpio and what angel is going to be with Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising in 2020. Maybe that was a sign. Maybe some of you guys are doing something with the Sagittarius. Maybe there's a battle royale with the Sagittarius in December. Let's see what's happening for you guys. What angel's coming in? Oh, yeah. Archangel Raphael. I love Archangel Raphael. The Lovers. Intimate relationships. Carefully weigh your decisions. Good health. This is definitely going to be a year to make your health a priority, Scorpio, because you are going to be busy. And that's going to equal stress for some of you. And the more you're taking care of your health, the more you're going to be in your connection, the more you're going to be in your higher vibration, the better you're going to perform, the better you're going to feel. Archangel Raphael, for those of you who don't know, is the patron archangel of true love, of romance, of soulmates, also of travel and health. Those are Raphael's departments: healing, travel, health, love. And so the fact that he's coming in for 2020 is going to mean that this is a year that you are going to come into healthier relationships, that you are going to heal emotionally, physically. If we look at the Lover's card from a traditional tarot standpoint, it does indicate choices and decisions, sacrifices even. And yes, this is lovers in terms of a romantic relationship, But some of you, Scorpio, are going to have to give up someone or something for a relationship. And maybe for some of you it is family. Maybe for some of you it might be aspects of your career. I mean, not that you're giving up the whole thing, but maybe aspects. We already got a feeling that some of you had some big plans where you were going to be traveling or you were going to be just kind of jet setting or something. And that Hierophant came in where it's like, okay, well, I guess now I got to stay put. I can't travel as much, right? Or I can't do things that are going to take me away for too long because it's not good for the relationship dynamic or the family dynamic, whatever it may be. So there may be certain things that you're sacrificing, but you have to figure out what's worth sacrificing. You know, what truly are your deal breakers. Raphael is also very hilarious. I don't know if people know that, and I might sound like a crazy person saying that, but when I did my meditations and I began meditating early on, Raphael was one of the first energies that came through, that connected with, because I had to do a lot of healing, just a lot of spiritual, emotional healing. And so I'm just going to tell you this, even though I can't really, I don't know how I can prove it to you. Don't be surprised if your 2020 is filled with humor. Like you're discovering humor you didn't realize that you had. You might have a soulmate who's coming in who is absolutely hilarious. And so I suspect, Scorpio, that there's going to be a lot of laughter for us in 2020. And I welcome it. I love to laugh. And I can be funny too myself, but you know, humor can be, you know, in the eye of the beholder, ear of the beholder. But definitely just love, happiness, health. These are the things we're going to be cultivating in 2020. I encourage you to watch your moon sign and rising sign video. It might resonate more for some of you. You might need a private reading, which I'm more than happy to do. The thing with the private readings, guys, you're going to connect with you're going to click on the Calendly link to schedule that. I know not everybody can afford a private reading. I get that. I understand that. And for that reason, I wanted to have a more affordable option of the extended video, which will only be $4.44. You would just go ahead and PayPal. And please, guys, put in the instructions for me which zodiac sign you want the extended video for, and I'll get that out to you within 48 hours. I thank you guys so much for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. This is my first full year on YouTube. I started last summer, end of the summer, so I was only on for a few months, and this is the first full year. And I thank you guys for your patience. Thank you for being a part of my journey. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of yours. I hope you'll continue to watch your weekly forecasts throughout the year. Hopefully they'll help you with all of this amazing growth that's going to be happening. And I am wishing you a healthy, happy, abundant, amazing, fun-filled, successful 2020. Take care, Scorpio.